Hi, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever you come across this video, thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscribes. Everyone who's booking, making purchases off the website, pledges to the Patreon, sending things to the P.O. Box, purchases off the wish list, and tipping the Clary stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys so much. Listen, Leo, it sounds like there's an energy where you've been able to like leave something that's been kind of like dry or desolate or kind of like the desert, right? Sometimes life brings questions. And questions about love, questions about career, questions about your life journey, and sometimes we just need a little clarity. And that is where my new sponsor, Psychic Source, comes in. Psychic Source has been around for over 35 years, connecting people like you with trusted, compassionate advisors to bring through insights and guidance that they need at this time. One of the things that I loved or that stood out to me with Psychic Source was that not only do they care about their customers, but they also care about their employees as well as the world. They donate 1% of all proceeds to a good cause through their kindness initiative. I had a chance to experience the whole experience and talk to a psychic advisor, and I left feeling far more confident than I did like walking into it. She was able to pull on a recent dream that I had, and the craziness of it, and help me find clarity through that. She recognized that I was going through a purge and that I was going through a kind of like a rebranding, if you will. She was also able to give me like kind of a little bit of clarity on a direction that I'm headed in. And she even was able to like give like dates type energy, as well as like a couple names she pulled out. So it was very good. Like I said, I left feeling a lot more confident than I did going in, just about the direction that I'm headed in. And I didn't ask her any questions. This was all just, I just asked her, what do you got? And she just came, pulled all this stuff, and it was very good. It was very good. So with all that being said, I'm excited to share that Psychic Source is offering an incredible deal for my viewers, you guys. Okay, new customers can get up to 40 minutes with one of their advisors for just $19.80. That's a value up to $240, okay? You can get the deal through the link in the description box below using the keyword Corie, C-O-R-I-E, or you can go to trypsychicsource.com/Corie. There's never been a better time to experience true connection. I feel like you've been able to leave, but there's an energy of kind of like hanging out there for whatever reason, and whatever this is. I do feel like there's been some sort of heart activation for sure. And so this is like you're leaving this desert and going to kind of like something where there's, a lot more flow, like the river, right? Kind of like it's like two completely different environments, okay? You may have cross timelines here in some type of way, like right, like going from and maybe it felt like you were kind of like drowning here a little bit, Leo, but it does, and it also feels like too there's an energy where it's like some sort of timeless energy, like there's almost a nostalgic feeling as well, but in a good way, right? Not in a way of like reminiscing and like sitting stagnant or still and like really, thinking about the past, but almost like um, good emotions or things like that kind of rising from the past as well here. Okay? All right. What does Leo need to know? What does Leo need to know? Right. Literally. This is like going, we have the Ten of Wands to the Sun, right? This is like moving from one space of feeling very burdened, very kind of like alone, or like, again, there's like this dry, right? Like nothing is, kind of energy here. Because it's almost like somebody, there could have been an energy, Leo, and I don't know that you were consciously doing this, but it's almost like somebody was like took you to the desert and was like, wait here, right? And they went off and, you know, for some of you, that's kind of an energy that's coming through, is like, you know, and it's almost like, okay, you know, maybe you were, again, I don't feel as though you were like consciously waiting, but maybe, for some of you, but maybe not for all of you, where it's just like, I don't know. I'm kind of picking up on an energy of like, why am I still here, right? Like, so, there could be somebody else's kind of like awakening, like to an environment or something. It's like, I don't even want to be here. Why am I here? You know what I mean? Like that type of energy. Like I know exactly the path to get somewhere else, right? Yeah. So there's definitely. It's also too, maybe there's some sort of clarity around what it is that maybe kept you there. You know what I mean? In the desert, right? What it is that like kept you like kind of sitting around and waiting here. Yeah, this like 4 cups energy. You could have definitely been healing from something, but you've healed from this. 6 of Wands. You've had some sort of victory over this. Also too, there's something, Leo, where it's like, I feel like people are viewing you in some sort of positive light here, okay? I think that there's some sort of clarity around, I don't know. I feel like you experience something. There's something about like people underestimating what it is that you've like had to kind of pull through, right? What it is that you like, the extent of the strength that you've had to have, Leo, to get where you are, right? And there's some type of energy, there's some sort of clarity around this. Some people may be gaining some sort of clarity, Leo, about, you know, I feel like people, you probably don't look like what you've been through, right? You probably also don't talk about it. You know what I mean? You probably don't, you know, talk about your past very much, right? So there's like these energies of people, I don't know, it feels like people recognizing what it is that you've had to pull yourself through. I feel like I'm talking to a lot of Leos that have pulled themselves through a lot of things. Okay, had to have a lot of strength. Okay. Yeah. There's that strength card. Exactly, with the Page of Swords. Yeah, and the 8 of Pentacles. That's literally what I just said, right? Somebody working hard. There's somebody that's watching, right? Or they've been watching, or they've seen. You know what I mean? Yeah, but this is also you making a decision to leave the desert. Mm-hmm. There's also too like this energy, Leo, where some of you, what kept you there was like feeling, you know, like an internal belief or something of like maybe you weren't necessarily, almost like you couldn't go to the river by yourself, right? Like you weren't good enough to go to the river by yourself or something like that, right? You needed to be like somebody's +1, right? And we're just talking like metaphorically or whatever, but you know, it's like but there's some sort of shift in recognizing that like you're like the main event, you're like the main guest when it comes to whatever this is. I don't know, something like that. Or you are one of, or you know what I'm saying, like there's something, it's almost like you know, the river has been like waiting on you, you know, where it's like you've been kind of like waiting, something like that, right? It's almost like you've been waiting on, you know, like the world to show up for you, but the world has been waiting for you to show up. I don't know, something about that. I don't know. There's something, yeah, but then we have this, Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely people are seeing, it's like people are recognizing and realizing like the strength you've had to have, right? The things that you've experienced here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there it's almost like this you know, like being in the desert like this, right? Is like for some of you it's almost like waiting for like some sort of approval, right? Or somebody to or something, or I don't know, it feels. And again, I don't necessarily feel like it's subconscious, right? This or I mean, well, maybe for some of you it's not subconscious, but for a lot of you I feel like it is. There is something like that had like a cycle that hadn't closed out, right? Where you could have been waiting on, you know, somebody's return or something like that, right? Maybe there was, you know, maybe that's what was supposed to happen, okay? Or you know what I mean? Like I don't know, but or it's like maybe there was an energy of feeling like, you know, you needed to wait on this person there or this thing or this whatever, but it was waiting on you at the river, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. This is you taking your own initiative, right? This is you like making a decision and being like, yeah, no, I'm good with the desert. I've learned a lot from the desert, but I'm really thirsty. You know what I mean? My skin is kind of dry, you know, like that type of energy, right? There's nobody around, right? I feel like I'm kind of like drowning in this sand a little bit. I just want to go, you know, kind of wash off here a little bit, right? Yeah. Yes. There's some sort of growth here too, Leo. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. I get the feeling that maybe somebody could have been like trying to show off here, right? There's something about that. To try to make you feel some type of way, right? To try to bring in some sort of imbalance where I feel like you've been very balanced, okay? But again, I feel like God's showing you something when it comes to maybe there we have ritual and family. So when it comes to maybe something to do with a family, your family, or some sort of ritual here, or both, right? mm, there's also, with this nice guy and karmic feminine with the mental and emotionally unstable energy here at the bottom of the deck, there's been some sort of ritual that's been done here. Okay? Uh, Maybe on your family, but this is the divine, the divine is showing you, maybe if you've experienced some sort of like spell work or something like that. Okay, I feel like the divine is showing you the return of this energy, right? Yeah, because there could have been some sort of rituals that were done on your family, or there's something going back to a family here. Okay? Okay, so we have actual money with entity attachment, abuse, travel, community, concern. There's a community concerned about, I feel like, two people, some sort of traveling, and what it feels like, it's like two people kind of running into each other, or you know what I'm saying, like something like that here. Okay, there is also too, be mindful of who, Leo, who you're accepting money from. Okay, because there could be somebody that's trying to send something energetically towards you. You know, that's an energy exchange, right? Where, and they could be attaching something or trying to attach something to some type of money here. Okay. There's also an energy where somebody was maybe abusing some type of money. Tell me more. Somebody tried to bind a star seed with an ice king and or a mature woman, or an older woman tried to bind. There's something about like maybe binding a family. Some sort of work energy. what's on the other side? Yeah. I feel like somebody's trying to portray themselves in one way, right? As like single, sexy, and successful, maybe. Okay, but I feel like you see through that, or somebody else sees through that, right? There's like this energy where it's like, yeah, and that's where this moving on comes from, right? You're allowing something to end. But for whatever reason, I feel like there was some sort of energetic like binding that was happening here, right? So that they could like, I don't know, so that some sort of family could siphon some sort of money or something here. Yeah, but again, there's an energy where I feel like people are recognizing and realizing what you've been through here. There's something significant about a house in the distant future, Leo. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, we have voodoo with Jezebel energy coming out. Somebody could have tried to attach this to you or to your money or maybe to a house or like a business, something. There was some sort of binding happening here. But you're, whatever this is, you're not bound by. Okay? You're not. Yeah. It's like you're not infatuated. You're not, you took off some sort of rose-colored glasses here. Right? Yeah. You did. You took off some sort of rose-colored glasses and you're not, yeah, I heard fools rush in. Fools rush in, Leo. Okay? And this is something that you're not, yeah. Interesting. Leo, I don't know. I just get this feeling, okay? Um, there's definitely a third party that's, I don't, this rising star, which I feel like is your energy, whether you're, you know, trying to become, I don't know if you're trying to really become anything, but I feel like you're just rising, you're ascending, right? This third party card was like stuck to the back of it, right? Yeah, we have animosity with abandonment. Yeah. So maybe this person didn't bind you to somebody, but they bound themselves to somebody. And somebody is seeing through the veil, or maybe it's like you knew this, right? You saw through the veil and you were like, well, maybe they'll awaken to that, right? Maybe they'll, you know, and I just feel like, you know, because this could have been, you know, like a higher level soulmate that got themselves tangled up in something, Leo. And it's almost like this energy, it's like, well, you know, at first it was okay, right? Like hanging out in the desert here, but yeah, I just get the feeling where it's like, yeah, I don't know that this person is ever, even if they awaken to the fact, I don't know that they're ever going to, you know, kind of that energy here. So, yeah, self love is like, okay, let's just go ahead and go to the river. You know, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait. They got themselves, you know, kind of tangled up in that, and that's their business. But I've got to live for me, you know, like that type of energy. Yeah. So, anyways, Leo, okay, I like this. I like this energy. Um, and thank you so much. If you need anything for me, that's in the description box below. I love you all so dearly. And we'll see you next time.